you're doing well. Hope that your family is well. Pray that you are blessed, and that your health is in great. That you have great health and strength, protecting yourself from this coronavirus, protecting your family. Today is going to be a very interesting show. We're going to be talking about Freemasonry and the Mechanics, the independent order of the Mechanics. Who are they? Where did they come from? We need these are our brothers of the craft from a whole nother perspective. And I'm interested in the mechanics. I'm definitely interested in the mechanics. I know that some of you are probably questioning, well, why is that? Well, why not? So as we dive into this thing of the mechanics and who are they and where did they come from, I just want to welcome everybody who's coming on. This is going to be an interesting show tonight because I don't know how many of you are as far as Freemasonry is concerned, but from what I've gathered and my personal experience with the mechanics and having a personal conversation with quite a few mechanics, it would shock you to know, and let me change that. It may or may not shock you to know that the mechanics have the same signs, grips, and words as Freemasonry. There may be some differences as far as their degree work is concerned, but it is very, very close to what Freemasonry is all about. And they have sister chapters also, like the Eastern Star. Now, I just learned recently that the mechanics have a Scottish Rite side also. This is going to be interesting because I know many people don't know a whole lot or like to talk about the mechanics because they don't. But I'm going to share this with you. In the near future, I'm talking within about maybe 3 months, something big is going to happen. Well, I would say for my jurisdiction it's something big, and it may be something big for Freemasonry from a different perspective. And this is going to be quite shocking because I feel like this. Why keep your door closed? You need to open your door. Why keep your door closed? So I'm all about building bridges across the pond. And now I can actually say from this jurisdiction, we've actually did that. We have actually built bridges from across the pond. I can't necessarily see who's on tonight. If you are on, please let me know. If you're in the chat room, if you can or can't chat, let me know. What's up, Big Coop? Greetings to you. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. So tonight we're going to talk about the mechanics and Freemasonry. Who are they? Where did they come from? Are they still a viable organization? Are they still thriving? Because you don't hear much about the mechanics at all. You really don't. The mechanics is a heck of an organization. Excuse me just a second. I put this in the system here. Just a second. There you go. Let me hold that just a second. Boom. Boom. Got it. All right. So, yeah, we're definitely talking about the mechanics and who they are and really what they're all about. Because like I said, what happens is that this is a huge organization. The mechanics are all around the world. Let's just take a look at where the mechanics are at. All right? Let's just take a look. Hold on just a second. Let's just take a look about where the mechanics are at. Hold on just a second. We know they're in New York. We know they're definitely in California. They're all across the Caribbean. They're in England. They're in so many different. They're in Africa. The mechanics are all around the world. They are. They have what they call grand chapters and grand lodges and districts, especially in Brooklyn, New York, places like that. All across there, you're going to find the mechanics. So tonight, we're going to talk. Don't because we haven't been introduced to how I personally see them from my own connections. And after we United States, find out that you are so closely related that some of you are like wondering still reach out. It is time to respect that person right back of mutual benefit of society that also serve in ceremonies of friendship. The person of the independent United Order of the Mechanics became established in the United States in 1910, and the membership is open to men. And several, let me see, yeah, it's based on love, sincerity, uh, and who they are. A little different than the Freemasons community. You couldn't tell. They also hold a compass and square for their working tools. Their working tools are almost identical to that of Freemasons. This is when you discover what the mechanics is like. Then it will open the doors and open your eyes to different organizations and different fraternal orders across the world. And when you're able to grasp that, it's a beautiful thing. It is truly a beautiful thing. So, with that being certainly welcome to do so. As I said, it's a little late on the East Coast. It's still kind of early. How do you develop? Does that relationship look like? So I'm not going to be on information out to you. I want you to be those places on the Washington D.C. When you're talking the Carolinas and Virginias, the Mechanics are a very strong organization back east. And as I said before, even in California, there is a Grand Lodge of the Mechanics. So it would be beneficiary for us, I think, to cross and to see and to develop that relationship with them. So with that being said, as you grow in Freemasonry, you're going to learn that Freemasonry is really not the only game in town. And when you understand the relationship of the Mechanics to Freemasonry, you might want to change your mind. You might want to look into it just a little bit more. You might want to do that. So as I grow in Freemasonry and finding out about these various organizations, who they are, it's a beautiful thing. And to definitely develop a relationship with them, that is the ultimate thing we should be doing. Is definitely developing a relationship with our brothers and our sisters who are part of the Mechanics across the pond. Just like I would tell you this, within, I say, by the end of this year, our Grand Lodge, when I say our Grand Lodge, I'm talking about the Most Worshipful John G. Jones Grand Lodge of California, would have developed or will have developed a relationship with a Masonic lodge across the pond. We will have that relationship. We will have that visitation right. Listen to what I'm saying. I would tell you within about a year, or sooner, I'm hoping sooner, that the relationship that we're working on having with the brothers across the pond is one that is going to definitely enlighten and enhance and definitely bring about a change within Freemasonry for this jurisdiction as we work on developing relationships with brothers across the pond. And we definitely have already began, and it's going to be shocking to some. This is why I say in the next couple of months, you're going to be wondering, what are they doing? We're not just, this jurisdiction is not just sitting down just because Corona is around. We are working on developing a relationship with brothers from across the United States and overseas. We are definitely on point with doing that, because all we ever hear is, brothers, you can't travel. But I'll tell you this, because of the relationship that we have already developed with foreign countries, we love the relationship. We do. And that's the beauty of being a Mason, and that's the beauty of having and built those bridges. I'm just saying. So let no one fool you. Masonry is bigger than where you're at, and unless you like where you at and that's all you got is your jurisdiction, call it what you want. But I'm going to enjoy this thing we call Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star also. So if you got any questions for me tonight, please go ahead and put in the chat room. Let me know that you're here. And so we can have this dialogue because how many of you are familiar with the mechanics, for one thing? How many of you are familiar with the mechanics? Water only. Yeah, brother. Water only. You right. Water only. I have to say that. You're right. Water only. And I'm doing a good job. I feel I'm doing a good job, bruh. I'm doing a good job. I went and had that already checked, so I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Good looking out there, brother Lewis. I'm good to go. So how many of you are familiar with the mechanics? Any takers on that tonight? Don't have me waiting too long. So, with that being said, I don't see too many people who are familiar with the mechanics, but I would hope that you go and do your research in regards to who they are, how they got started, and you might want to reach out to them. You might want to do that and start developing a relationship with brothers who look like you. I'm just speaking to the African American brothers and the sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. What? Oh, come on, Brother Lewis. That's the last mechanic I seen to charge me about that much. But you know exactly what I'm saying. That was a good one. He charged you $400. Oh, yeah, but we're not talking about that mechanic. We're talking about the mechanics, the Independent United Order of the Brotherhood of the Mechanics. That fraternity, which is very closely related to Freemasonry, which was started in 1757. They actually came out of the Grand Lodge of England, or the Premier Grand Lodge of England. They've been around for that long, and they're predominantly melanated individuals, sisters and brothers. That's who they are. They're predominantly across the West Indies, Jamaica, Nassau, Bahamas, the Virgin Islands, you name it, as far as the islands are concerned, and including New York here in the United States and California. The Mechanics is a very, very strong organization. Is this a regular body? Depends on who you're talking to. The Mechanics is a very regular body. Depends on who you're talking to, Mr. James. And that's the beauty of who they are. See, I don't know. If you're in New York, I'm quite sure you are definitely familiar with the Mechanics, because they're a very strong organization there in Brooklyn and quite a few other places there in New York. And I can name them for you. Hold on just a second as I pull them up. Let's see. So let's look at the Mechanics in their jurisdiction. So the Mechanics, so they're in what they call Alpha District Grand Lodge, and they're in New York. Let's see. Yep, they're definitely in New York. They have 2 districts in New York. They have a Grand Lodge in Canada. They have Barbados. Of course, I mentioned Brooklyn, Brazil. They have one in Washington, D.C., Florida, California, France, Holland. Let me see. What they call American Western District, Jamaica. They have, let's see, New England, Netherlands, Nassau, Ontario, Panama, Cuba, Trinidad. These are all the various places that you will find the Mechanics. Literally all over the world. Literally. The Mechanics is one of those organizations that you really don't hear a lot about. But if you are, like I said, but if you're definitely living in New York, you should have heard them. You should have heard about the Mechanics or know something about them, because this is where their headquarters is located. If I'm not mistaken, this is where their headquarters is located. And like I said, the Mechanics was founded in let me see, 1857. They've been around since 1857. So they're not a Johnny-come-lately organization. As a matter of fact, they're probably older than some of the Grand Lodges here in the United States, when you think about it. As I said, they also have their own Scottish rites. Let's see, the Independent Order of the Mechanics. And just so Brother Lewis would know, tonight I'm drinking lemonade because it's pretty warm. Let's see about the Independent Order of the Mechanics. Okay, so the Mechanics have lodges for men and chapters for women, are basic organization in what they call mechanicism. They are collectively governed by a Grand Lodge for the area which they reside. A lodge or a chapter room where meetings are held within the Mechanics. Temples symbolically erected to King Solomon's temple. Okay? A larger chapter is where the Mechanics practice mechanicism, learning morals and ethical values through allegories and symbols. Plays called rituals, defined as a set of actions performed mainly for their symbolic value. Mechanics is just like Freemasons. The Independent Order of the Mechanics was formed in 1757. Okay? In England during its first 100 years. As a strong and growing entrepreneur, the order established a Grand Lodge in northern region of England and the southern region of Scotland in 1878. The order registered as a friendly society shortly after the enactment of Friendly Society Act of 1875 by the Parliament of the United Kingdom. In the late 19th century, the order spread to South Africa, Netherlands, British, Ghana, and various sovereign nations, dependent and territories, the Caribbean Seas, North America. The first branch in the United States was in 1910. So the Mechanics came to the United States in 1910. It says today the Mechanics exist throughout the world, including Ghana, Jamaica, England, Costa Rica, Canada, Trinidad, Brazil, Netherlands, Turkey. Let's see, it says Scotland, Barbados, Grenada, the Dutch Western Islands, Cayman Islands, Honduras, France, Ghana, and the United States. They're all over the world. They are all over the world. So if your brothers across the pond are willing to make your sisters Mason, will you have a problem with it? You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If the Orders of the Eastern Star, a sister of the Order of the Eastern Star, chooses to go and join the Grand Lodge of California, female Grand Lodge of California, that would be her business. That's her personal business. That's what she chose to do. It's of her own free will. It was of her own free will that if she became an Eastern Star. It would be her own free will if she became a female Mason. We have nothing in our bylaws that says that she couldn't. Do your bylaws state that a lady in your jurisdiction could not be a Mason? Or does it state that you could not be at the making of a female a Mason? I'm asking an honest question, just like you asked me. So I don't have me personally, I don't have a problem. That's not my issue. It's not. Female Masons, I don't have a problem with female Masons. I don't. Because they have lodges that you cannot go visit as a male. Period. So who am I to go and try to visit whatever told me if I'm not a female, I'm not welcome? It's no disrespect, but it's their lodge, it's their jurisdiction. You know, that's the beauty of being sovereign. Truly. For some odd reason, I'm not seeing all of the chats that's coming up on one screen versus another. You know? So, sounds like a knockoff Freemason. We are speculative mechanics are taught. Well, you are taught Freemason also. I would tell you this, Mr. James. Go look up the mechanics. Talk to one. He may shock you. He may shock you. Very much so. And the mechanics have sisters. They have their chapters. From what I know, they don't sit in lodge with the brothers. So, there you have it. We are the same. Oh, there you go. Somebody, Chris. Somebody else on here tonight. Chris, are you a mechanic? Oh, you was made in New York. We have so many other things straightening out in our house as Masons, then sweep them around the door. Yeah, but see, that's the beauty. This is what I'm trying to say in regards to the mechanics. Is the mere fact what happens is that a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I think we should my personal belief is that we should build a relationship with the mechanics. Now, whether your jurisdiction chooses to do that or not, that's different. But I just absolutely believe that Freemasons should build a relationship with the mechanics because of what it represents. It's identical to what you're doing. The works may be different just a little bit, but I would love to actually go and sit in a lodge of the mechanics. That's just to be the honest truth. And see their works. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If I have to join to do that, I'll become a mechanic. I would. If I have to join to see their works and to understand their works, not based on what I've read and had a conversation with the brothers who are mechanics, but actually see it for myself. And that's the beauty about developing relationship with those who are of who have differences in the skill set, Freemasonry versus mechanics. Their grips, their signs, their words are definitely like that of Freemasonry. That's what they are, in my opinion, from what I know of them and having conversations with brothers who are mechanics. But like the thing that sits this jurisdiction apart from other jurisdictions, because we're not afraid to talk to various jurisdictions from around the world in regards to building relationships. We're not. Just now, some jurisdictions may say, well, they're, I am buffering tonight. So look, let's see what else I got. Yes, they do wear aprons. They do wear aprons. They have aprons, they have columns. One go up and one go down. You know exactly what I'm saying. On the apron, a dear friend of mine, her brother is a mechanic, and he was from Puerto Rico. And we got to talking, and I learned a lot. That was my first encounter. I gripped him, he gripped me right back. I went to another grip, he went to the same grip. The Q&A was just a little different. So what I've learned is that just because this organization is not what I would consider a regular body of Freemasons, just because I considered it at that time, I've gotten to know about the mechanics. I'm looking at them totally different. They are my brothers in the craft. So look, I wish I was able to have some of the pretty late where they're at right now. What I'm going to talk about, I think that would be a great conversation to have. Let's look at other organizations. Not only the mechanics, but let's take a look at Rosicrucians. Let's take a look at them. Who are they? I've had my own personal experience with them. I'll tell you what. Here's what you do. At 985-1184. Yeah, I think I'm probably far from my network. I'm probably too far. I'd probably need to be a little closer to the network or get me a but definitely for the last couple of days I just been getting this buffering. So look, I'm going to go, but yeah, definitely hit me up at 619-985-1184. Slim Daddy, give me a call after I log off, and definitely we can talk about the buffering because I've been buffering pretty bad for a couple of days here, and it's not doing me any good. So look, with that being said, I appreciate you tuning in tonight, having this great conversation, and definitely getting involved and seeing exactly what the mechanics are. I think, as I've said, it would be beneficial if we did definitely look into developing that relationship. And with that being said, remember this: the higher you climb, the clearer the vision. Whatever you do, stay out the bushes, keep that light on. 619